Emerald City. It's a Dish with Deeva show. Here she is, the one and only K-Cee Deeva.
What up, peeps? It's your girl K-Cee Deeva here. I'm excited to bring you another edition of Dish with Deeva. Yeah, how's everybody doing tonight? I'm excited to be back.
Good. I know it's good.
Doing the thing.
It's good.
All right. So each week we come to you. I come to you live, and I have a special guest with me, and we talk about any and everything. Last week we had a good friend of mine, Stacey Israel, who is our makeup guru. She has a Stacey Israel Bridal. So if you're a bride and you're looking for a wonderful makeup artist, she will travel. She goes back and forth to, Florida to Seattle right now. And, she's going to travel to places and she's wonderful. But tonight I have another Mr. Wonderful, the very handsome, my BFF, my partner in crime when it comes to this podcast thing, Mr. Anthony Adams, joining me tonight.
Hey, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Let's kick this weekend off right. Let's go. I'm ready.
Let's do it.
You look lovely tonight as always.
Oh, thank you. Too kind.
Wait, did you get your braids? Did you get your braids done again? They actually look fresh.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it.
They look fresh.
But it's time for a new style, though. You know me. I like to switch it up a little bit. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I appreciate that.
Oh, no problem. I got you.
All right. Well, we're gonna dive on in because we only got half an hour, but we got a lot to talk about. So
yes, we do.
Andy and I do another show called Afterthoughts 90 Day Fiance for those 90 Day fans out there. WTF moments, because there are several of those. We do this every Monday. Actually, we catch you up. So sometimes Sundays are busy. You don't have a chance to watch the show live. We try to get you up on all the WTF moments. Tonight I'm calling this Deeva's TV Guide because we're going to talk about all the new shows coming back for fall, our picks for the ones that are either coming back, who took a summer hiatus, as they always do, or some new shows too. We're going to throw those in the mix as well. But first, we're going to start off with 90 Day Fiance. If you're a fan, if you watch it, if you've been keeping up, it's now the other way, and this is where the person from America goes to another country to live, and the cameras follow them and all the craziness. Anthony and I have one couple in particular that's probably the show fave right now.
Okay.
The scenario.
So if it's the couple I think you're talking about, is it Ari and Benny? I think we're talking about here.
Ethiopia, yes, they're in Ethiopia.
Okay. So essentially, Ari is this, girl. I think she's from New York. I want to say.
Yeah, she's Jewish.
Jewish white girl from New York.
Very
goes
rich.
Over to Ethiopia. Very rich. Yes. Comes from a very well-off family. Goes over to Ethiopia and is first off, when she came over, she was pregnant by a guy from Ethiopia. His name is Benny. Now, over in Ethiopia, Benny he's somewhat of a celebrity. He's an MMA fighter. He's also a rapper and a singer. Okay, yeah. If you want to, yeah, okay, yeah, I get it. Okay, yeah. He's a good-looking guy.
Hey, on the eyes. Okay, I'm just
hey. Black don't crack. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey, no. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, no, it's funny. That's the first time I've ever heard you say that. But yes, so he's there. So they're there, and last season we saw them have the baby. They had the baby over in Ethiopia. Now they're back again this season. They're living in a very nice house that her parents are paying for. They have a nanny, which she's also paying for, and she gets the bright idea to invite her ex to come and stay with them for a week.
Ex-husband.
I was gonna say ex-husband. Now this is an ex-husband who she was married to for 10 years. They were separated for a few years on and off, and actually recently, before she went back over to Ethiopia to be with Benny, she actually hung out with him for like a week, for like 2 days after she first learned she was pregnant. And basically just inviting him to, he's my best friend and everything. Basically just like parading him around their house while her soon-to-be husband is like looking at this going, what the hell is going on? Like how did this happen? Essentially. So it was a hot mess.
It was a hot mess. There's a lot of hot messes on this show. I mean,
yes,
we've seen people travel to Islam, Israel. We've seen people travel to
India.
Russia. I mean, it's just all over the place. It's very interesting to see what people are willing to go through for love. And as I've said many times, Anthony, I'm not that person. I'm not gonna be, like Ed showering in a garden hose and sleeping on the dirt with rats the size of cats. That ain't happening.
and we're not judging anybody that does. We're just saying that lifestyle is just not for us. It's just not, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with saying that lifestyle is not for you. Nothing wrong with that at all. No, I ain't going neither.
I'm just saying, there's not enough love in the world that would make me want to do that. I'm just, come on, now. I'm not people for no reason. Okay, so
I mean, come on, you go to a third world country, they can put you somewhere where you can't be found, and they can get away with it. Tread lightly in them countries. That's why I say tread lightly when you go over there.
Yes. Okay. Let's wrap that on up. So let's go on to some other shows.
Yes.
I'm excited about one of my favorite shows, Chicago PD, coming back.
Okay.
I'm a fan of cop shows, and I always have been. Chicago PD. I love the cast. They always have they kind of rip from the headlines. Same thing with oh gosh, escaping me.
Law and Order.
Thank you. Criminal Intent. That one, same thing. They rip from the headlines. I like it when they bring real life into the television, the Hollywood, and the two. Because I think there's stories that need to be told, even though it's, there's some Hollywood aspects to it. But
are you
those two are coming back? Excited about that.
Or are you excited for Law and Order Organized Crime with Stabler?
I caught one episode of it. I can't say that it kept my attention.
Yeah.
I think I just, I'm so used to now if they brought it back, say, to the other show, Law and Order, Special Victims Unit, I might be more inclined to watch. I mean, I have to give it another chance. It didn't do anything for me. Are you?
Well, it was, first of all, it's good to see Stabler back. He was arguably one of the best characters. Him and Ice-T and Benson. Those are the top three favorites. So it's good to see back. It's different because rather, how Law and Order, each episode is it's a different story, right? Well, this show, each episode it continues. It's one big story. So if you missed last week's episode, you got to go back and rewatch it to get caught up before you watch this week's episode. And I've already got a couple of shows that I follow that are like that, and so I think if they just would have brought him, I'm with you though. If they would have brought him back on like SVU, that would have been fine, and made him like the captain or something, I would have been fine with that. But but you know what though, like you, I might give this one another chance. I might, because I like Stabler.
So many to watch. I've just got so many to watch. Another one is I know you don't watch this one, but it's called Queen Sugar. It's on the OWN channel. One of my favorite shows. Basically about a farmer passes away. His kids, move back home and take care of the farm and keep it going. And it's small location in Louisiana. The daughter used to be married to this big basketball star, and there was this whole cheating scandal, and so she's come back home, and now she's going on to be like a possibly a state senator and doing all these things to help the community. Really good show, really good family show. If you're into that sort of thing, shows all the dynamics of the siblings and trying to get along and make this thing, continue to happen. So, and then too, I like the way they brought in, the pandemic. they showed different age groups and how it affected different people. You know, the older gentleman, you know, who was isolated and alone, you know, because, you know, it was age, you know, they were leaving food at his door and things like that because they didn't want to, you know, risk contaminating him. You know, to the mother that was pregnant during, you know, the pandemic and those, you know, scares and worries. And they've really done a really good job of incorporating what we're all dealing with now into that show, you know, as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I know my mom watches that show too.
Does your mom watch it? Yeah.
Eventually, I'll get around to checking it out eventually. So
yeah,
it's just y'all got so many shows.
There's so many shows, so many shows.
Yeah.
So what's one of yours? Let's talk about.
Well, one of the ones I've been watching, they actually just started the second season of this, The Morning Show with Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon, Steve Carell. This is on Apple TV Plus.
I like Reese Witherspoon. She's one of my favorite actors.
So you'll love her on this one. She plays a Southern. She was like a Southern local reporter who suddenly gets brought up to the big leagues to be the new co-anchor of a morning show that suffered a Me Too scandal. So essentially, the show is Steve Carell's character and Jennifer Aniston character. They're loosely based off Matt Lauer and Meredith Vieira, from the Today Show, about like, you know, and of course, you know, that whole, this is like around the whole Me Too thing, who knew what, who was doing what, who was covering up behind the scenes and stuff like that. So it's really good. And the shadiness and the backstabbing, and you think this person's your friend, but they're really not. They're gunning for your spot.
There's no friends in journalism.
As
we both know.
Me and you learned that the hard way.
There's no friends in journalism.
Yeah, so that is one. That is one. And then, you know, I'm also a DC Comics fan. So Titans is back for their third season on HBO Max. Now, Titans, this is where the first Robin, Dick Grayson, G. Willikers Batman, broke off, and he forms his own team. So he has Wonder Girl, who is a descent of Wonder Woman. You have Superboy, who is a clone of Superman and Lex Luthor. And basically they band together, and they pick up where Batman, who has essentially left Gotham, are now taking over. So that one is really good too. I really enjoy that one. It's dark the way DC Comics are supposed to be.
Gotcha. Okay. Speaking of dark, American Horror Story.
Yes.
They came back with a bang. You know.
Yes.
They came back with a bang. Last we saw them, it was 1984.
Yes.
You know,
my favorite season.
Was the one that I gotta admit, I know you love that one, Anthony, but it was not one of my favorites.
A lot of people said that, though.
It was not. It did nothing for me, really. It reminded me of a bad version of Friday the 13th. You know, went into that one, you know, but I am an American Horror Story fan, so was curious how they come back with the pandemic. They've come back with a bang. You know, this season it's a double feature type of thing, and we just saw the finale last night of the first part, where the family comes to a small town, goes to P-Town, Providence.
Yes.
And they reside there. The husband's a struggling writer. He's really talented, but he's got writer's block, and thought maybe coming, you know, a small town, being isolated, that, you know, it would help him, you know, thrive and so on. He's got a pregnant wife. He's got a 7 or 8 year old daughter. No, 9. She's 9-year-old daughter who plays the violin. She struggles a little bit, you know, she's learning. He goes to a local bar, and he meets these two, like, strikingly beautiful older women, strikingly beautiful young guy. They're sing, they do karaoke, you know. They chit chat with them for a minute, you know, whatever. Fast forward, there's these what are they called again? They're these.
I forget what they're pills.
Pale people.
The pill people, yeah.
Yes, the pale people who come out at night and hang out in the cemetery. They're bald. They've got you know, kind of like an old school Dracula look to me, you know.
Look like Voldemort from Lord of the Rings. I mean, Voldemort from Harry Potter. Yeah.
Which one?
Look like the ball is the Voldemort from Harry Potter.
Yeah, both of
Yeah,
them are part of that
that's
look.
what they look like.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Only there's a lot of them running around. And they got these razor sharp teeth. They're trying to figure out, this family has no idea where they've come from. They came home one day, they were going to their house, and the dad managed to kill it and so on. Come to find out, there's this magic pill that people can take that the scientists created. And it's this black pill. You take the pill. Now, if you're talented, it brings out all kind of talents on a whole nother level. So all of a sudden the dad takes his pill and he starts writing, and he's writing blockbuster movies and films and scripts, and he's getting all this attention and all this money, heading their way. And if you take the pill and you're not talented, you become one of these pale people, creatures, whatever. But they have a common denominator, which they both have to drink blood.
Oh,
so it's this very, very, vampire-esque kind of thing.
Yeah.
Only instead of just singing the teeth, they slash throats, and it can get quite bloody. So if you're kind of squeamish, just a warning. I'll stop there, Anthony. I'll let you kind of finish out the season for those who maybe want to go back and watch it. Don't tell all the details.
I ain't gonna tell the details. I'll say this first and foremost. It's great to see Macaulay Culkin acting again because he's on this season.
Yes,
yeah, he did his thing.
Acting role again. Yes,
he did his thing this season. And the next thing I'll say is this: thank God you and I both have talent. If we took those pills,
right?
Oh, geez.
If I took that pill, Oprah better retire.
If I take that pill, all the DJs better forget it. Shut it down. I'm done. Exactly. So they take the pills and everything, and the daughter becomes like all of a sudden this like chair one violinist who is just playing like she's been playing since she was literally out the womb. And then the wife is a little bit reluctant to take it. She's like, what is going on?
Designer.
Yes, and she's like scared to take it. And so, of course, she's trying to have a baby. And, it's just madness. And, last night was the finale. And, and he has the agent, the one that you couldn't stand.
I can't stand that heifer.
Yeah, she always plays the bad guy in pretty much every season of American Horror Story.
Like the snooty, I love her, but I mean, she does her job. I can't stand her.
You do.
But I'm telling you, it's good. They came out with a bang. The double feature. I think next week is the first episode of the part 2.
Yes,
next week, yeah.
That one looks like it's gonna be Roswell meets the Twilight Zone. Yeah,
it looks very which I gotta tell you, I'm gonna check it out, but I'm not a big Alien fan. Not really my thing, but I'll definitely check it out because it's American Horror Story. And the thing I love about this show is you never know who's going to be on there, right? Like Macaulay Culkin, they've had Angela Bassett, they've had Cuba Gooding Jr. I mean, they've had a whole list of people, having either a cameo or some type of role on the show. So it's always fun to me each season to see who's on there. Okay, so let's see what else. The Wonder Years. You want to kick that off?
Oh yes.
Off of a previous Wonder Years show back in the 90s.
Yeah. So this reimagining of the Wonder Years, as they call it, it tells the story of what it was like for a Black family in the late 60s. This family, I believe, is in Atlanta. The husband is a music professor and a soul singer at night. The wife, she's not a homemaker, I don't think this time. I think she has a job too. I can't remember.
Does she? I didn't get that though. I know
I thought she had a job. I can't remember. I have to go back and rewatch it again. And of course, the son is in. And so this is actually during the time where they desegregated the schools.
Yeah,
so
1968.
1968. So you see the kids going, these Black kids from the little Black inner city. They're going to this predominantly white school. And you see how they're interacting with the kids and stuff. Like his best friend is this Jewish white kid and everything. Well, one of his best friends. And he tries to get, he loves to play baseball. And he's trying to get like his team to play against like his best friends who's Jewish is based with like the white kids versus the black kids, and the
Mhm.
coach is like, I don't want to do that. Like, why would I do that? And then they end up having a game, and of course, it deals with the situations at that time. You actually pointed something out to me that I kind of missed. Was you think the sister is into the Black Panthers, so you think at some point
I think
she's
it's
going to join
that way. There was
Yeah.
a scene where a picture dropped out of her book, and it was a woman, a Black woman, with this very strong, confident stance, and she's holding a rifle. And I thought, maybe she's, the sister might be, kind of heading that way. So
because she did,
Not
I
many
believe.
people.
I believe she did mention Bobby Seals in that episode too.
Oh, did she? Okay,
I
might have
believe
missed
she
that.
did.
Okay,
Yeah, I
well,
believe she
then
mentioned
definitely
Bobby
they're heading that
Seals.
way.
Yeah. So it's really interesting. Don Cheeto is the narrator.
Now, okay, so I have to be honest. Sorry, Don. I'm not a big Don Cheeto fan, and I think it's just I think he'll grow on me as a narrator.
Yeah.
But the thing that I always, his voice is always almost too calm for me. Like, you know what I mean? It's like I want to hear a little more like inflection and and maybe that's why they picked him for this role, because it's a 12-year-old kid, and I think too it's weird, Anthony, because as I watched this show, what popped in my head was everybody loves Chris, everybody hates Chris.
It did.
Especially it kind of,
especially when he
reminded me of
cussed
that
and they
show.
beeped it out. When they cussed and they beeped it out.
Exactly. And so it reminded me of that show, it's, I think, with Chris Rock, it's his voice is a lot more, in your face or there. But no, the show itself, I like it.
I do too.
Black centered. Talks about like when Dr. Martin Luther King got assassinated. Like you said, the segregation. Him, the main character going to drink out of the water fountain, the white kids not want to drink after him. So all
the dad supports Black-owned businesses.
Yes. The dad supporting only Black-owned businesses. I like the messages so far. And again, it's only episode 1, but I liked it. I liked it a lot, actually. I'll definitely be tuning in.
Me too. And then I was a fan of the original, so I think I'm gonna like this too. I was a fan. And here's the thing though, too, about me. I'm not the biggest fan of reboots or reimaginings, because once the nostalgia wears off, I'm like, why am I watching this? But this actually looks like it's gonna hold its own with me. So I think I have a good feeling about this show. I really do.
Yeah, I do too. I think I'll definitely hang in there for it. Okay, so you've been telling me about the show for a while. Even my mom got hooked on the show. She was telling me about it, and I never caught up to it.
What?
And finally, earlier today, I started watching I had to pull myself away to get ready for this show. I started watching Dark Side of the Ring. And is it A&E? Is it on A&E? Is that what's the channel that it comes on? A&E. It comes on Vice. So if you're a wrestling fan, it's a behind the scenes look at all the major events that have happened. Owen Hart's death. Andre the Giant. I didn't realize he had so many health problems. Being his size and height and everything. I'm getting caught up. Like I've got a few episodes get caught up. A new episode airs tonight at 9 p.m. But it's really interesting for me to see behind the scenes. It's always been such a fascinating business for me. And I remember my brother being, young and he was a Hulk Hogan fan and a Rock fan. And I used to, to get on their skin, I'd say, it's fake. Oh, don't say the F word.
Don't. Never say that word to an actual wrestler. There are videos of people saying that, and then the wrestler like literally about to kill them for saying
right.
Don't say that. Yes. But I am so happy you finally started watching that show. Yes.
I see the allure and it's interesting. I can't wait to get to the rest of the episodes.
Yes, you talk about pulling back the curtain. I started getting into Dark Side of the Ring last year during the pandemic,
Uh-huh.
and we were all in lockdown. And so I just started watching all the episodes because my buddies were telling me about it. So I said, okay. So one day I started watching the first episode, and I watched the second episode, and literally by the middle of the pandemic, they had released the second season, and I was like, oh my! I didn't know all this. Like, there's the death of Owen Hart. Oh my gosh, damn near cried on that episode because I remember when that happened.
I remember that happened too.
Yeah, so I
That's
damn near cried on that episode. There's a two-parter on the Chris Benoit situation. The New Jack episode, rest in peace. He just passed away not that long ago. The New Jack episode is comedy. Okay, when you watch it, the plane ride from hell, the new episode they just aired last week. You gotta watch that one because if you're a wrestling fan, that story has been like a legend that you constantly heard about, and you always wanted to know what happened on that flight. So you're getting like a look of what happened.
So this is the flight where I just know like the gist is a bunch of wrestlers like got into it with the flight attendants or something. It was a whole big thing.
They were coming back from an overseas flight. They were drunk because there was an open bar, and
drunk wrestlers.
Drunk wrestlers. Somebody at one point there was a fight on the plane.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, but it's one of my favorite shows to watch. As you said, there's a new episode on tonight. I'm gonna go watch that in a little bit. But yes, I am so happy you found that show. I am so happy you started.
Yes, I am.
Hey, and Mom is watching this show too. For real?
What?
Your mom is watching this show?
Oh yeah, she was telling me about it like weeks ago when it first, as it was, when the season first started. Like she was like, I think there was one on Rod Piper. Wait, I always say his name wrong. Roddy
Piper.
Yeah, there's one on him. She thought that was fascinating. And I'm like, how you know these wrestling names? I was cracking up. I was like, man, okay. So I haven't told her yet I started watching. I gotta let her know that she'll be thrilled that I'm watching it. So any shows we're getting close to time here. Any reboots that have come out or are coming out that you're like, I'm not so sure.
Well, you know what? When I first started to watch this reboot, I was like, but then I actually ended up finishing the show and I actually liked it. It was the Saved by the Bell reimagining that they did.
Oh,
because I watched it when they first put it out, and I'm like, I got like the first 3 episodes. I'm like, I don't know. But then I was like, you know what? Let some time pass, and I started watching it, and I'm like, okay, they're dealing. It's so essentially, it's like, okay. What happens is Zach Morris, who's the governor of California, he closes down the inner city schools and essentially buses the inner city kids to the rich school, Bayside. And you see like different casts of people in there, and they're dealing with, like the main girl, she's a Latino girl, her name's Daisy. She calls out like the white kids for being privileged, having that thing called white privilege. So I like the fact they're addressing issues that we're seeing today. So I thought it was pretty good. I'll check out the second season when it comes out. Will I jump on it right away? Probably not. But eventually I'll get around to watching it. But I was actually it was better than what I thought it was. I'm not too excited for the Frasier reboot. I like the original Frasier.
I didn't watch the first one. I just wasn't.
Okay. So the only reason why I watched Frasier was because I was in Connecticut a few years ago. And my granddad didn't have cable anymore after he had passed away, so I had to use the antenna TV. I got like one of those I had like one of those
rabbit ears.
Yeah, so one of the channels that came up was like those retro where they show like the old TV shows, and they did like a 4-hour block of Frasier. So I watched Frasier, and I'm like, this show's actually kind of funny a little bit. It's dry humor.
I heard rumors of a Martin reboot.
No, I don't want that.
I'm like, you can't, shows like that are just funny in their time. They need to stay there, plus Tommy is gone, rest his soul.
Tommy's gone.
You can't.
We don't know the Tommy. Well, yeah, and we don't know the relationship between Martin and Tisha Campbell now. We don't know if they're still on the outs with each other.
Well, I did read that they made amends. When they talked about doing a reboot, they've talked. They talked quite some time back, and and she forgave him, and they made amends and everything. But yeah, I was just like, Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what show I think would be fun though?
what's up?
Living Single. Like
Yeah.
for some reason that show I could see a reboot.
Where
I
we
just
see
to
them
kind of
all
catch up like what
today.
all the characters are doing, you know.
Yeah, you know
I would
what
be I would be
you know what? I don't know if you remember this, but ABC used to do this, and I think they only did it one time with Growing Pains. But rather than do a reboot of the show, they did like these like 1 hour TV movies that would
Oh
like that
yeah.
they would do like every couple years that would show the
Right.
family what they were up to. So you got just enough taste, but then once the show was over, once the movie was over, okay, nostalgia over. I'm for them doing that with Martin, and then they pay tribute to Tommy. I'm for them.
Okay.
I'm even for them doing that with like Living Single. You know, maybe like a 1 hour movie, seeing how they're all like doing in their lives.
Yeah, instead of a series trying
are Overton and Sinclair married, and how many kids do they have? I know.
Jean marry like some rich, you know, debonair guy.
Dick Kyle and Maxine. Get back
with what was his name? He's Black Lightning.
Chris.
What was his name? Scooter. Yeah, then she and Scooter finally hook up. Yeah, exactly. I would love to see that. Like that would be fun. That would be
Maxine and Kyle get together at the end?
Right.
I know what mini reboot you're excited for. Sex in the City.
Yes, I am excited for that. That was my show. Now, at first, I was like, because if you follow Sex in the City, you know that Kim Cattrall and Sarah Jessica Parker, like, they had fallen out. They didn't. The rumor is they hated each other on set. Like it was a big thing. Sarah, you know, in her popularity, became like executive producer, so she was, the woman in charge, kind of thing. Kim Cattrall, they approached her for the reboot. She of course said no, not doing it. But Boris Kodjoe's wife,
Nicole Ari Parker.
Yes. She is going to she's not gonna be the new Samantha, but she's a new character on the show. I'm down for it. I like her a lot. I think she's adorable. I think she'll bring some fun, some spice, to it. I'm excited. I'm excited for Sex and the City.
I never watched Sex in the City, but I might watch it now. Because I like Nicole. I liked it. I liked Nicole when she was on Soul Food, because if you remember, she took over. She played Terry. She was Vanessa Williams' character, and she did a good job. So
she did a great job.
I'm curious to see how they're going to do it with this one. So I'll probably check it out.
Exactly. All right. Well, we are just about out of time. Thank you so much, Anthony, for joining me. Fun to talk about all the TV shows. Your fall TV guide, as I mentioned. If you check out some of the shows, hit me up, let me know. Curious to see what you think of them. If you have shows that you recommend, comment underneath the video and let me know what shows, and we'll check those out too. Hit me up on IG at MZKC Diva, right here on Facebook, K-Cee Diva page, or just with Diva, Dish with Diva page. All these shows got me like stuttering and excited. And be sure and catch my boy Anthony and I every Monday night at 8 p.m. on IG Live. We do a recap of 90 Day Fiance. So if you're a fan, join us, comment. We want to chat with you about it. We want to know what your WTF moments are. And until next time, I'll see you all next week.